Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast that brings you topical and relevant Packers news, along with their most humble, subjective opinions. This is episode 315. 315. We're recording this on a Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. The OTAs are here. The preseason, off-season is definitely in full swing now. I am joined by my co-host, Ren, and of course, I am Tay. This is a video episode, but you can find us also on the audio podcast. Welcome, everyone. Ren, welcome. OTAs
What up, Tay?
are here. So what's happening? How are you feeling?
I'm good, Tay. I mean, it's week 2 of OTAs? How can you not be excited, Tay? They all showed up today.
Or did they?
Minus Elton Jenkins, silent G there, Tay. So he was not wearing the G for Elton greatness. But how you doing on a Wednesday that was, I don't know if we broke 60 today, Tay, here in northeast Wisconsin. So another struggle bus late in May here in Wisconsin.
Listen, I'm a sweater. If Packer Universe does not know, I'm a sweater. I love this weather. This is great. I love the late fall Packers games. I'd rather go to those any day. Those scorchers at the end of August and early September, no thank you. But I welcome this kind of like late spring here. We're like kind of slowly going into it, but sooner or later, well, I think pretty soon we're going to get to the 80s here, Ren, and then boom, summer will be here. It kind of reminds me, it's kind of like a parallel to this NFL, season, the Packers season. This is like you got the potato sack on, you're at the top of the slide, at Bay Beach, and you've just gone over the edge. That's where we are right now. Sooner, by the time before you know it, we're going to be opening day. You're at the bottom, and let's go. It's going to go so fast, so let's enjoy this time while we have it. OTAs are finally here. Are you referencing last week with the rookies reporting? Is that what you mean by week 2 here, Ren?
It is week 2 because I know next week is, you call it week 1, next week is week 2, and then mandatory minicamp is the following. So, but yeah, it's on. The off-season program today is a kicking. It's not very exciting because it's mostly what will he, what won't they, Jair Alexander do, kind of story we've been talking about ad nauseum for, 5 months now. That's generally been the off-season talking point. But before we get there, you mentioned, you're a sweater. I'd rather be at those early Packer games, in September '95. Give me that cheese bikini today. I'm looking good, yeah. Cheese head on with that thing, that's my kind of weather, myself. But we got 100 days till game 1. Ted, again, I think that was 2 days ago. It was 100 days, and summer's gonna fly by like that. It's over. A Thanos snap, and we're right back into this thing. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to talk just basic football, just kind of breathe for a moment because it really, Packer Universe, Packer Nation, Packer whatever you want to call it, it never stops, Tay. This thing moves day to day. We've got something to tweet about, something to talk about, but it's always fun to do it, nonetheless, with you here on the Pup List. But what do you want to jumpstart here today, Tay? You want to get into the curious case of Jair Alexander as Max Schneidman has kind of enlightened all of us over the last couple of days, and where do you want to go?
Yeah. We'll get to that in just a second, Ren. I'm going to start out with my PSA announcement. This is OTAs. We are just beginning. Like, the preseason has just started for the Packers. Nothing is etched in stone. Nothing you heard about today will absolutely be final. The Packers are just working things out with what they have, getting together, running some drills, shaking off the rust, getting their sea legs under them, getting to know each other, because some of these guys are brand new. Everyone looks great right now. Everybody. So let's just have fun with this and enjoy it. So that's my PSA. Let's just, everything you see today or saw this week and next week, just take it with a little grain of salt and enjoy it. They're trying to work stuff out too, and it just happens to be that today was the day the media could see everybody, and now is reporting. So we're getting a lot of this from the beat writers that were at the OTAs today. This was the second practice, OTA practice this week, and they invited the media to show up. So we're getting a lot of that information from them. And we'll start off with this one, the OTA attendance, Ren. This tweet here, I'm going to go through
ding,
it. It's
ding,
from
ding,
Matt.
Tay. We love to check off attendance. We are here for class. Tell me about it.
Well, it's this tweet is from Matt Schneidman, so I'll reference him. He's the one that tweeted this out. I think other beat writers were saying the same thing, but more importantly, who wasn't there? And I'll go down this list. Who was not present? You already mentioned two of them: Jair Alexander, Elton Jenkins, John Williams, not the composer, the offensive lineman, and then Tyron Herring.
Young Rook better have a real good explanation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he was at rookie camp, but who knows? So those are the ones that weren't here. We can kind of talk about that. But rehabbing, there was a group just rehabbing because they were either dealing with injuries or whatever. That was Christian Watson, Quay Walker, Marshawn Lloyd, Nesta Jade Silvera, Colin Oliver, John Fitzpatrick, Warren Brinson, Jeremiah Martin. And then we had Savion Williams. He was in the red jersey, which is do not touch, do not pass go, do not give him $200. I don't know what the deal with that was. I didn't see an explanation.
Played a lot of quarterback in high school, and can do that Wildcat stuff, Tay. Who knows?
So is that why?
Already throwing out a red jersey to the rest of the NFL. Like, you don't know what we're bringing here in 2025. Yeah. You never know on third down. Our guy Savion, look out.
Do not touch. If he's throwing those corner baskets, those bags or whatever that is, then I'll start wondering what's going on. But whatever. If he's gonna be a quarterback, that's fine with me. You got two kind of like athletic Wildcat backups then right now, right?
Well, Tay, we've never even talked about the other Taylor Alguerzma, the Canadian football.
Right.
The next Tim Boyle laser show, big time prospect to make the Packers as the practice squad quarterback. We can talk about Alguerzma if you want to, Tay, a Tay, but yeah, I don't think Savion is going to be playing much quarterback other than perhaps a trick play in the 2025 season.
Like if something happens, like oddly, to affect the quarterbacks that are going to be on the roster, please enlighten me, anybody out there. But for right now, you got Jordan Love 10, and you got number 2, and then that's it. Like no one's on the roster past number 2. It's not going to happen. So you're right. It's like who's the practice squad QB?
Mason Crosby's the quarterback or what?
No, Malik.
All right, the truther. Finally, you're there.
Yeah, 2. There's a 2 with an asterisk. It's like sewn in the really top right corner. You can't see it. Anyway, Ren, Jair Alexander, Elton Jenkins. Now you can look into this. You can really look into this deep and try to garner some conspiracy theories or I told yous. This is what I thought. This is what I was worried about. But I don't know. There's reports from Matt Schneidman that they're close to some deal, right? And you got guys like X saying, "Oh yeah, no, we're friends. We hang out, and we all want him back." And so it's yada yada yada. Here we go. There's always got to be some top dog situation on the Packers roster, and right now it's Jair Alexander, of course. So he's not here today. There's and the fact that Elton Jenkins isn't here, that worries me a little more. I think because of what we've been hearing about, maybe he wants his contract restructured and that it's not necessarily reflective of what he's going to be doing on the team. And he wants some, be paid for being a Swiss Army knife and the anchor of this offensive line. So that kind of worries me a little more. I don't know if we heard any reasons for their absences or not, but you definitely could look into the Alexander one and say, well, yeah, I told you so. That's bad. He's not coming back. Or Elton Jenkins, yeah, that's a contract dispute, right? Well, we don't really know. So I'm gonna just let it go and see what happens next week, and then you really got to be concerned when the mandatory minicamp comes up. So I'll save all my judgment and conspiracy theory ideas until we get to that point. What about you, Ren?
With Jair, I think, obviously there is some truth that the Packers in the background are trying to get this thing figured out. They're open to bringing him back on a restructured contract. There was obviously word per Max Schneidman again that he may show up, is planning to show up for mandatory minicamp. So I think that pushes the Packers to have to make a decision between now and then to get this thing done. Even though they made overtures, here's our offer. Well, maybe there's a counter offer back. Maybe they find some middle ground. They agree. And by the time mandatory minicamp hits, he is going to be here, and it doesn't matter. Or this pushes this thing to a different resolution where, hey, they got to cut him post June 1. They get a bunch of money for it. We know that. I think it's $17.1 million today. So a lot of people have been reading the tea leaves here now, most recently, like Jair's coming back. I'm kind of on the fence. Like, this may happen. This might not happen, depending on what happens over the next 14 days before they get to that point. So I'm not quite sure. The Elton Jenkins thing, I think he'll be there for mandatory. But by the time we get to camp, if nothing has changed, I could see a holdout happening. I really could. I think this thing has got a little teeth to it. I think the Packers probably need to massage this thing a little bit. They are asking a big deal of him to move a position to a position that's lesser paid. He's a very talented guy, as we know. If he hits the open market, having played guard and then center, he may not get as much money for his third contract in the NFL than he would have staying where he is. Again, we talked about this weeks ago ad nauseum, them giving a free agent contract to a guy who is not as good as him to play his position and move him. Sure, you're going to have some feelings about it, no doubt. So that one concerns me a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see where this Jair thing gets over the next 10 days or so. I think we'll finally have our answer. He is, again, a member of the Green Bay Packers in 2025, or he's not. I'm not quite sure. I don't buy all the for sure he's coming back now kind of thing. I'm not there yet. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what transpires. But again, the Elton thing is a little bit more of a concern for me. And hopefully, again, the non-composer John Williams, he has a good reason as a rook not to be at any of this stuff. Because if you're not, and I think it was either Andy or somebody else I heard today talk about how Jonathan Garvin. Do you remember Jonathan Garvin today?
Yeah.
When we were kind of young upstarts, I think his mom followed us. We were like, yeah, cool follow. We're just like, anybody, please. I don't care if you're a bot. Follow us, please. And his mom did. And this guy would not show up for voluntary OTAs. And he had no given roster spot. Don't do that when you're a rook unless you really have a really great reason. Because if you don't, it's not a good look.
No. It's an easy slam dunk if if you're a young player and a rookie, you just show up, man. You're getting to know everybody. It is important for them. You're getting to know your coaches, and it's a statement. If you're there, you're a team player, right? I just don't know why they. I mean, they make it voluntary because of the CBA, but it's just like. It's almost like the NFL and the CBA do that on purpose. Like, let's put these things in there that like cause controversy. It's like, come on.
We're talking about it.
Yep. The last thing I'll say about Jair is like the only reason I think he's gonna be on the team is because there's gonna be maybe a little interest in him or what the Packers want for him in a trade or something. Or if cutting him is just not worth it for the Packers, like on the books. But most importantly, I think because they didn't really do anything to address that position. I mean, they got Nate Hobbs, and I think he's going to be great. But they didn't do anything else really.
They lined him in the slot today, Tay. I don't know if that's anything. By the way,
there you go. There you go.
They had Sean Ryan at center and Jacob Monk at center today, Tay.
Well, let's transition to that because I've got this. I've got this up here. This is from Andy Herman. Andy Herman NFL. That's his X handle, but he's got the starters here. And on offense, he's got Loves, Jacobs, Dobbs, and Melton, Musgrave, Kraft, and he's got like you said on the line. It's Walker, Banks, Monk at center, Ryan, Tom. And to see Monk on there is interesting, but it's like at the same time, it's like, well, just put him out there. Elton's not there.
And Jacob Monk, honestly, he can't play any other position in the center. I don't see him being with the team very long. Sorry, Jacob, but that's all he can play today. That's it. Yeah. I mean, he might stick around this year, but he is non-versatile, and we know the Packers are all about versatile today.
Versatile,
and he cannot do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to have some players on the offensive line that just can play one thing. I mean, that's never gonna go away.
Center's its own thing. I get it, but I don't see Jacob beyond the 2025 season today.
And what was it not a perfect opportunity for the Packers coaching staff to see him in a high pressure situation than today? Oh, Elton didn't show up. Monk, you're in. Like, get out there. Let's see what you got. It's actually kind of nice. These are the opportunities that you need to take as coaching staff to see these players that maybe don't get a lot of time in this situation. So, good. You got Banks there at left guard. I'd like to see that because that's kind of where we all think he's going to go, and that's why they brought him in. You got Musgrave out there with Kraft. I love that. That's like, what is that? Is that a 12 formation? What is that called, Ren?
That is 12 today.
With two tight ends. Hopefully there's a lot more of that. I would love to see that.
That'd be remember the receiver holds a 0 in the number franchise. Yeah. So 1-2 is one running back, two tight end set.
Yeah.
A 2-1 today would be quiz.
Well, it's a 2 running back, 1 tight end, of course.
Okay. There you go.
Past that. Dobbs and Melton, like Melton, hello? Question mark? Like, I don't know. Again, I think they're just like, yeah, you guys are veterans. Get out there. Let's do it.
And we know we're not going to talk rosters today, but
no,
Bo Melton, Malik Heath, and Mecole today, not Mecole. Mecole Hardman. They're going to be fighting for that last wide receiver opening on this roster. So we like some Bo Melton. He's kind of a speed threat downfield. Malik's good hands kind of guy, better special teamer, and then Mecole can punt return like nobody's business. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things with that whole wide receiver competition with the three of those guys.
And to finish off this little tweet highlight from Andy Herman, on the starting defense, you have on the front defensive line Gary on the outside, Wyatt Wooden on the inside, and then LVN on the other outside. The middle linebackers or inside linebackers, you got Cooper, Hopper, and McDuffie. Hopper, I think it's another opportunity for the coaching staff to see what they have in him. Like, let's put him in there. Let's see what he got. You didn't see a lot of him last year. I think they know what they have with Cooper and McDuffie, so let's put this other guy in there. Cornerbacks was, I guess, the starters, Nixon and Hobbs, of course, because Jair's not there. I don't know if Hobbs or Nixon has jumped over Valentine completely, but this is what they put out there today. And, of course, they have Williams and then Xavier McKinney for the safeties. So not a lot of surprises there, but I love that they're kind of putting in some people just today. Just let's see what you got. Run some drills. Let's go. And that's what this is all about to me, is trying to figure out what people have in them to play at positions that they didn't necessarily play a lot last year. So I'm glad. I can't wait to see that. Next week we'll see it more, and then let's get going on this mandatory minicamp to see what's going down with that. But I don't know. You got anything more here on the OTAs and what you saw, Ren?
I didn't see it today, but what I know is that this is a walkthrough in sweatpants and a jersey today. I mean, they're running around, they're doing drills, but there's really not much to take home, even with position groups. Obviously, the notables, like you mentioned up front, are who's not there. That's the notable stuff when it comes to OTAs with vets. Other than that, where a guy is at one spot versus another.
Yeah.
It's literally milk toast. There's nothing exciting about it. It's boring May 28th football day.
Well, this will be a little bit shorter episode. We'll have more to talk about next week. But speaking of next week, we do want to give a shout out, give a little heads up to all our fans and our subscribers out there that we're going to be having a special guest on next week. And that is our now friend of the podcast, Wendell Ferreira. He is one of the, I would think, premier Packers beat writers. He is from Brazil, and we talked to him right before the Eagles game at the beginning of the season last year. He was a great guest, a lot of insight. He is all in on this, all in on the Packers. He's a great beat writer. If you're not following him on any social media, do so. He's a great intellectual, knowledgeable Packers fan and beat writer. He does a wonderful job, and we're having him on next week to talk a little Packers, pick his brain about some things, maybe some position groups, predictions, and of course, we love Wendell's opinions. He's got a lot of them. Don't miss it, and follow us to get all those notifications about that episode coming out next week.
Tell you what I love about Wendell, outside of being a good dude, is he's really opinionated on his takes, but he backs it up with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of research, and he'll bring it to you. And you have to love people that are passionate, that bring good knowledge, and can speak to it so well. So it'll be really interesting. We're going to talk about things like, obviously, his feelings on the draft, Packer offseason moves, kind of as the Packers move into OTAs, his thoughts on the 2025 Green Bay Packer roster, those kind of things. It's going to be a really fun visit with Wendell. And we're just really appreciative that he's coming back on with us, and it'll be a good time. I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Ren, I just found a couple more of my notes here about OTAs today. So
you got more notes?
Let's go! Just little tidbits.
This May 28th stuff is over the moon, Tay.
I know, tons. Matt LaFleur had a press conference today. A couple notable things that he said. Cooper, at the linebacker, Cooper, he looks great. He looks good. He's like put on like 20 pounds than last year. He's up in weight. So Matt LaFleur definitely pointed out that, watch out for this dude. He also said Watson is ahead of schedule for his rehab on his knee.
I've heard that. Yep.
That's a great thing too. Getting Watson back earlier than expected is going to be huge for the wide receiver room. Yep. And especially just for him being on this team, his career. I mean, it's huge to get back after a big injury, especially now since the Packers reloaded their wide receiver room. You got to wonder, does he get moved? There's a room on the team if he's not be able to perform. He's been a little bit injury prone over the last few years, and I don't know. I want him to work out. I want him to be here. I want him to be our number one. So I'm glad he's gonna be back. Maybe a little ahead of schedule. I don't know when that is exactly, but good to hear on that front. Yep. Go ahead,
I would say with regard to Christian Tay is that he's a hard worker, says the right things, super talent. I think there's a lot of opportunity for him to have half a season here in Green Bay and potentially get a 1 to 2 year prove it deal with the Packers, stay on board, because you and I both probably can agree. 3 years ago when you looked at this thing with your 3 years ago lens, you would have been a Romeo guy, not a Christian guy. But Romeo's gone after this year. There's no way the Packers retain him. But Christian adds an element that.
Oh, Ren, you pause a little bit. We'll just give Ren a few seconds here to kind of bounce back. Unless his phone completely died, which is possible. He likes to do that. He likes to live on the edge with like 8% battery life. So it doesn't surprise me if that's the case. But clearly this shot of Ren's face is just optimal. And he's going to love this when I keep this in. No edits, none at all. So man, he was getting to something really good. Oh, I felt it boiling. It was just about to overflow about Christian. He's the best. Ren, I'm giving you a few more seconds here. Oh, and he's gone off of the whole stream. Let's see if he jumps back. But lastly, I'll move on without Ren. One thing that Jaden Reed had a little press conference. I think some of the players actually got to talk to the media today, so you can go see that. But there was this news report a few weeks back when Brian Gutekunst, the GM, met with Drew Rosenhaus about Jaden Reed's position on the team and his I guess future, his outlook, just to kind of straighten things out, and at the time I was like, oh, that's weird, but I guess they kind of cleared the air, set things straight. But Reed kind of mentioned today that was kind of maybe misinterpreted, that there was nothing to see here. It was normal stuff that an agent would talk to about the GM, so he doesn't really see a problem with it. So everything kind of looks fine with that. We got Ren here on the line. Let's see what he's got to say. Ren, you're live on the podcast.
Did you really have me on the phone?
Yeah, I got you on right now.
Come on, don't put all that on there. How about that?
Right on.
All right.
Later. Bye. All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but Ren is officially gone for the show. But that's okay. We were nearing the end anyway, and we'll be back next week with our special guest, Wendell. Don't miss that. Go follow us on social media, especially YouTube, where you can find video episodes of all of our podcasts. And of course, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing. We appreciate it very much. Until episode 316 on the pup list.